The people who sit in darkness have seen a great light. Last weekend, darkness was exposed as the Diocese of La Crosse publicly admitted, apologized, and listed the names of clergy with substantiated allegations of sexual abuse against minors. And in this, we were reminded those who are abused too often are alone in their pain. It's difficult for victims to even begin to share their story, to find someone to trust, someone who believes in them, someone who will not define them by the darkness of their story, someone who sees the good in them, that they themselves might be struggling to see. There are other forms of darkness, centennial family farms that are failing, high school students who are encouraged/pressured into four-year colleges only to graduate in 5 years with a mountain of debt, people who are called to marriage but can't find the right one for a healthy marriage. Marriages that struggle to become families because of fertility issues. Those slaving at dead-end jobs, unable to find a job opening that truly matches their talents and their passions. Patients diagnosed with inoperable cancer. People who are struggling to break free of their addictions. There are as many experiences of darkness as there are people. Darkness grows as we struggle with the lies that overemphasize our imperfections, our inadequacies, our misfortunes, and our sins. These partial truths, half-truths, mostly truths, fall short of the whole truth. So they're lies. Why would we ever believe lies? Well, because we know some of it is true, and then we get snagged in the lie. We think on the farm, previous generations made a go of it, why can't I? Shouldn't I be faithful to the family heritage? What else am I going to do? Am I going to work for someone else? We find ourselves in these dark messes and we think, what did I do wrong? It must be my fault. If I could do it all over again, it would be different. If only I had listened to what other people were telling me. How could I be so blind? Look at me. Who would want me now? Who could love me now? It's too late to start over now. Darkness begets gloom and death of spirit. Maybe we've put our darkness into a box and stored it somewhere deep in our heart that we usually do not visit. And somehow we minimize the darkness, saying, it's not as bad as I think, and other people have it worse than I do. We manage our darkness like the addict who believes he has everything under control. We want it to be fixed, but we don't feel comfortable bringing our imperfections, our failures, our sins, our pain, our victimization into the light. We want to be free of our shame, but it has a hold of us. So we find ourselves walking and sitting in darkness alone. Land of Zebulun and land of Naphtali, the way to the sea, Galilee of the Gentiles, the people who sit in darkness have seen a great light. Zebulun and Naphtali are west of the Sea of Galilee in Gentile region, and historically these Galilean Jews were looked down upon by those in Jerusalem because they lived among so many Gentiles and were ritually impure, and they rarely made the trip all the way down to the south where the temple in Jerusalem was. And today's gospel tells us that Jesus began his ministry in the north, not the south where the temple is. Jesus goes there. His first action was to go where there is darkness in order to bring light, to bring love, to bring healing. Do you want light? It's blinding and painful at first, so we tend to shy away. Do you want love? It's hard to accept true love because the walls sometimes keep other people from seeing who we really are. Do you want forgiveness? It's hard to say our sins out loud, so we tend to avoid confessing to a priest. When darkness is great, lies and fears grow. We all have light in us, and we all have darkness in us. Even the bad person has light, and even the good person has some darkness. Our whole world has its share of darkness. And there are shadows within each of our hearts. So let us embrace every opportunity to let Christ be the light that dispels those dark areas.